development of the finer tissues of the brain and the memory, power of memory. Then the other thing is discretion. Discretion means knowing how to act in different situations so as to maintain one's purity. See? It's very easy because there's no one rule book that can describe every possible situation. So even if it was possible to memorize all the scriptures, there would still be situations that come up that would apparently be contradictory. For example, there's a story given that there was one sadhu whose reputation was that he was always completely truthful. And one day he was sitting in his ashram and some people came and they said, "Help, help, some thieves are following us, you have to hide us." So he said, "Okay, you go into the back room here," and locked the door. And then the thieves came. "Have you seen these people?" "Oh yes, they're in this study room." You see? So there's a time when it's beneficial to be truthful, and then there are times when it's not beneficial to be truthful. See? Where it would be unjust, where it would be immoral to tell the truth. So one has to be able to discriminate what the situation is and how to meet it properly. And let me read this passage. Krishna's fine discretion was exhibited when he was fighting with the untouchable king who attacked the city of Mathura. According to Vedic rites, those who are untouchable are not to be touched by the Kshatriya kings, not even for killing. Therefore, when the untouchable king seized the city of Mathura, Krishna did not think it wise to kill him directly with his own hand. Still, the king had to be killed, and therefore Krishna decided with fine discretion that he should flee from the battlefield so that the untouchable king would chase him. And what's Krishna's name from fleeing from the battlefield? Remember? Begins with an M. Huh? Anybody out there in internet land? Anyway, I'm going to continue reading. He could then lead the king to the mountain where Muchukunda was lying asleep. Muchukunda had received a benediction from Kartikeya to the effect that when he awoke from his sleep, whomever he might see would at once be burnt to ashes. Therefore Krishna thought it wise to lead the untouchable king to that cave, so that the king's presence would awaken Muchukunda and he would at once be burnt to ashes. You know that story? Yeah, Muchukunda was a great fighter, and although he was from the earth planet, he was fighting along with the demigods against the demons. So after fighting many, many years, he was very, very tired. And the demigod said, "Okay, we'll give you any benediction you want." And he said, "Just give me the benediction that if anybody wakes me up, then I'll burn them to ashes." I just want to sleep. Huh? Must have felt about like I did when I got off the plane. Like, where's the bed? So that's what happened. Krishna led what was that king's name? That wasn't Jarasandha. We talked about that last night. It was another king. Anyway, he led this rascal king to the cave where Muchukunda was sleeping for a long time, and then Krishna disappeared. And so the rascal comes in the cave and thinks, "Oh, that's Krishna." They're all bundled up in blankets in the back of the cave. "Hey, you!" Muchukunda woke up, he's gone. So,
Navayogana says Ranakor.
Ranchor, yeah.
Ranchor.
Yeah. So the next quality, number 13, is genius. A person is called a genius when he can refute any kind of opposing element with newer and newer arguments. This is the most wonderful. In this connection, there is a statement in Padyavali which contains the following conversation between Kṛṣṇa and Radha. One morning, when Kṛṣṇa came to Radha, Radha asked him, "My dear Keshava, where is your vasa at present?" The Sanskrit word vasa has three meanings. One meaning is residence, one meaning is fragrance, and another meaning is dress. Actually, Radharani inquired from Kṛṣṇa, "Where is your dress?" In other words, Kṛṣṇa was undressed. But Kṛṣṇa took the meaning as residence, and he replied to Radharani, "My dear captivated one, at the present moment my residence is in your beautiful eyes." See how charming Kṛṣṇa is? He's a rascal, but he's charming. To this Radharani replied, "My dear cunning boy, I did not ask you about your residence, I inquired about your dress." Kṛṣṇa then took the meaning of vasa as fragrance and said, "My dear fortunate one, I have just assumed this fragrance in order to be associated with your body." He's teasing her. Srimati Radharani again inquired from Kṛṣṇa, "Where did you pass your night?" The exact Sanskrit word used in this connection was yami yamushitaha. Yamin yam means at night, and ushitaha means pass. Kṛṣṇa, however, divided the word yaman yamushitaha into two separate words, namely yaminya and mushitaha. By dividing this word into two, it came out to mean that he was kidnapped by Yamini, or night. Kṛṣṇa therefore replied to Radharani, "My dear Radharani, is it possible that night can kidnap me?" In this way he was answering all of the questions of Radharani so cunningly that he gladdened this dearest of the gopis. Kṛṣṇa is missing all night, and Radharani is looking for him, and in the morning she finds him in the forest naked, right? And so she's asking him, "Well, where were you, rascal?" Uh-oh. Krishna's in trouble now. So, Kṛṣṇa is also the supreme rascal boy. Anyway, quality number 14 is artistic. One who can talk and dress himself very artistically is called Vedānta. This exemplary characteristic was visible in the personality of Sri Kṛṣṇa. It is spoken of by Radharani as follows: "My dear friend, just see how Kṛṣṇa has nicely composed songs, and how he dances and speaks funny words and plays on his flute, wearing such nice garments. He has dressed himself in such an enchanting way, as though he had defeated all kinds of players at the chessboard. He lives wonderfully at the topmost height of artistic craftsmanship." So this is Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa is not just ordinary. He's not boring. He's not, like I always, when I see these paintings of Kṛṣṇa that people do, he's standing there like stiff, He's got this expression on his face like, "Oh, do I really have to stand here and pose for this painter, and it's like, that's not Kṛṣṇa. I don't know where they get these ideas, maybe from their models or something. But Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa's got an attitude. He's an enjoyer. He's a gay blade, as we used to say. He's a rascal. He's like always doing some kind of tricky stuff, and he's making up newer and newer songs and dances, and then he's like, you know, did you ever go to a, I don't know if anyone has ever been to a nightclub? I certainly haven't. I used to work in nightclubs. I used to play music in the band. Huh? And in the nightclub scene, there's always one guy who is like the master dancer, you know? And he'll come up, he'll make up all these new dances. And it's usually a black guy, of course. And like everybody will start doing the same dance, you know? And he'll come up with some, you know, really cool move, you know? And the next thing you know, everybody's going to be doing this. You know? And then everybody will get doing that, and then he'll start doing something different, you know? He'll start